Executive Director of Equal Rights Advocates and the very proud co-chair of Stronger California Advocates Network. Can I hear a whoop? We are so happy to be here with all the incredible advocates that make up Stronger California and our legislator champions. And we promised them that we would start promptly because they all have a lot of great things to do. But I just want to take this moment to just think about the women legislators in Missouri who are fighting about whether or not they can bear their arms in the legislature. And so if there's a solidarity action today, and you want to take off your jackets and show your arms, I'm going to encourage that. But, you know, it just shows you the very urgent time we are in for women and gender-expansive people and families and people across the gender spectrum. You know, we're not only battling whether or not we can show arms, but our basic constitutional rights to reproductive health care are under attack in 26 sister states across the country as we speak, right? And we've got families coming out of COVID-19 who are balancing a recession and then an inflation and really trying to survive. And in all of this, we wanted to make sure that California, which is home to 9% of the country's women, really was a leader, was a bastion of hope. So 8 or 9 years ago, a couple of blocks away, we sat down with leaders of the Legislative Women's Caucus, and we said, I don't know, you kind of ready to go big or go home? We want to partner with you, and we want to not just be satisfied and take what we can get one bill at a time. We want to build a comprehensive agenda that addresses all the needs of women, families, and others to build economic security. We want to address poverty and stop the stripping of the assets of our communities through unfair practices. We want to make sure that every family that needs it has access to quality childcare and affordable childcare. We want to make sure that we lead in a state where workplace justice isn't just an aspiration, but it is a reality. Paid family leave, equal pay, all of the things we need to thrive in the workplace. And our fourth pillar is just about that, supporting working families. We have incredible leaders from those coalitions that I speak to you about that work, and I'm so excited to have them here. And we really just decided we have to be unified. You're not going to pick us off. And so the people, the legislators that are here today, have decided to vote yes, not just on one bill at a time, wait your turn, special interest women, on all of our bills. 100%. And since we were founded 8 years ago, we have passed 43 pieces of legislation together. We've infused the California budget with millions for families. And I'm talking about the strongest equal pay law in the country. I'm talking about raising the minimum wage. I'm talking about stopping silencing sexual assault survivors through forced NDAs, to repealing the maximum family grant rule. Remember that? That was one of our first and early wins. And we really just continue that momentum. We've got a list of our wins. Everyone needs to leave here with, anybody who's in this room gets a California Women's Card, because that means you support 100% of our bills. But also take a look at the 9 new bills that we passed last year addressing pay equity. We are leading the nation on requiring people to tell you what they're going to pay you and pay transparency bills. We've defended the rights of fast food workers, leave for chosen family, bereavement leave, baby bonds, so many other wins. You're going to hear about them. And we did this because we stood together. We weren't allowing ourselves to be siloed. So I'm really excited that we're going to celebrate all those today. And I also get to announce that we have added a new pillar to Stronger California. And it addresses issues that we have had on our agenda before, but for obvious reasons you'll be able to figure out in just a second. We really felt it was important to call it out. We will have a new health and reproductive rights pillar. So look out for that, and thank you for suggesting advocates to join our roundtable and network supporters. We do this because we do it all together. And speaking of doing it all together and superstars, I want to introduce ERA's Policy Director and Co-Chair of Stronger California, Jessica Smith.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to be very brief. We have a lot of VIPs in the house. I just want to say thank you everyone for being here, and I just want to note all of the progress we've made as a Stronger California coalition is because of our partnership with the Legislative Women's Caucus, who always shows up in strength to support our bills, to lead our bills. All of our bills are led by Legislative Women's Caucus members. And also, yay, let's give it and I just want to note, we also couldn't do it without the support of our legislative champions. And that includes, of course, Legislative Women's Caucus leaders and members, but also others who are here today, including several important male allies. I see Senator Quarantino over there, and just want to give you a big thank you for supporting our bills always in support of women and families. Assemblymember Arambula is here, and other allies within the legislature who support our bills. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Yesenia to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you so much, everyone, and Jessica. Hi, everyone. My name is Yesenia Jimenez. I use she, her, ella pronouns. I'm a senior policy associate at Grace and Child Poverty in California. And I have the great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Senator Nancy Skinner. Yes, a lot of woos for Senator Nancy Skinner. Senate District 9. She also chairs the Senate Budget and Fiscal Review Committee. She is the chair of the California Legislative Women's Caucus. And throughout the past years, I've had the incredible pleasure of working with Senator Skinner to combat child poverty, and can attest to the fact that she truly is a champion, not only for children, for women, but also for families. And I am so glad that we get the honor to introduce Senator Nancy Skinner here.
You all know my executive decision to bring my vice chair up here with me. So, Yesenia, thank you for that very kind introduction. Equal Rights Advocate and Stronger California Network, thank you for holding this. And all of the allies. Vice Chair, Assemblymember Cecilia Curry, and I, Mayor Curry, excuse me. We lead now, a 50-member strong women's caucus. And I saw many of you in the room today, first at the End Child Poverty briefing hearing earlier, and then at our Women's Caucus Child Care briefing, because all of these issues, first off, California, this very wealthy, obscenely wealthy state, fourth largest economy in the world, has the highest rate of child poverty. These two don't equate. So we are committed, as Stronger California Network is, to end that. Meanwhile, what is one of the things that contributes to poverty? The lack of good early care and education. And then, for women's economic mobility, the inability to either afford that early care and education, or to have any near them or access it, or if you're the worker of it, which, of course, who is the worker at early care and education? Women, and mostly women of color. So these are all so connected. And I just really want to honor all of you for understanding that connection, bringing these kinds of policies and programs to us in the legislature, and driving those things home all the time. And I had the great pleasure of hearing last year the bill, the Hope Bonds, the Hope Accounts, which is a form of, the Hope Accounts are not baby bonds, they come after, but we put in the budget the pilot for the baby bonds. And so what we're hoping is that through these mechanisms, both baby bonds, Hope Accounts, our pilots on some guaranteed income, for example, that those things will begin to really take hold. We know the data supports them all. But of course, there's always a reluctance to do something new. But the more that we can, even if it's in, starting small increments, right? Then we show the proof of the benefit, which we know, then we can build on it. And we can even, right now we're in a bit of a budget shortfall, yeah, but things will, at some point it'll get better. And maybe I won't be in the legislature, but many of our other good women will be, and you advocates will all still be around, and we can get these things to take hold, as we have with our great investments in early care and education, with our universal school meals, with our programs like pay transparency, with our parental leave, with all of those things. So you are just great partners. Thank you for your good advocacy, and Cecilia.
Boy, you took all my thunder there, Dorothy. First of all, I want to thank all of you because you are great partners for us. We can't do our job without all of you. Every single day, even the smallest things that you don't realize that you're doing, you are changing someone's lives, but you're also directing us to do good policy. You know, I always have this thing in my office, what's the problem? How do you fix it? But the most important thing that we have to really strive for is how do we implement all this policy that we're doing? But we need you. So for instance, today we had a child care briefing. We thought we had all the answers. Well, actually, we know we don't. But the fact is that we want to work hard to make sure what we have done is in policy, that we can make sure that it actually works. It gets to the families, it gets to the children, it changes the world. So I just want to let you know, I'm really proud to be a part of the Women's Caucus. I'm really proud of where we're going. Every single one of the women, I think, are really dedicated to changing the way we do business. And so with that being said, again, thank you so much. It's so great that Stronger California is there for us. We'll be doing some legislation. I know I'll see some of your faces sooner or later. But remember, our doors are open. We're good listeners. We've got to figure out what we need to do to make all of you successful. So thank you very much.
And a shout out to our other good members, Maria, Elena Rosso, and
Eloise! Natasha's here.
I'm going to next introduce our amazing Stronger California advocate partner, Mary Ignatius, to come introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Jess. Oh my God, it's so nice to be in a room with everybody again. My name is Mary Ignatius. I'm the statewide organizer of Parent Voices. We bring the mothers to the Capitol. We bring our kids because we hear directly from families. And when we listen to families, we come up with incredible policy campaigns. And we've been so grateful to have Assemblymember Eloise Gomez-Reyes be one of our incredible champions on an issue called family fees. The Assembly member was elected Democratic leader, a majority leader in December 2020, and she has just been an amazing champion on child care, and it's always there for us, and we've just been so blessed. I feel like we got the lottery having her author our family fee bill, and since she's been involved with freezing family fees, we've put $200 million back into the pockets of families to use it how they want, reducing debt, increasing credit scores, canceling out bad credit cards, all of the things. And so we're grateful that we get to continue to work with her in this coming year. Those fees expired July 1, and we've got to work and fight to keep them extended. And after the Assemblywoman speaks, we're going to hear from an incredible woman and mother, Rachel Church from our San Francisco chapter, who's going to help bring all of this home. So we'll have the Assemblymember come up.
Oh my goodness, you're right. When we were able to have those family fees waived, it made a big difference. We heard from the parents, especially from the mothers. I still remember meeting with a group of them back in my hometown in San Bernardino area. And one mother told me, she says, I was able to put my child in ballet folklorico. Another one told me that ballet. Another one said, I was able to fix my credit score. Thank you for mentioning that. Another reminded me that she was able to go back to college and she finished her AA degree. These are tangible things that happen as a result of our collective work, making sure that families don't have to pay those family fees. They've already qualified for subsidized childcare. So if they qualified for subsidized childcare, why are we having to pay family fees? It's up to getting close to $600 a month. And if we don't do something now, those families are going to start getting their bill for up to $565 every month. We can't allow that to happen. We need to get our money back into the budget. And I'm glad our budget chair was here. We love her. We love her. We have just a great team, honestly. But none of this happens without your work, especially Parent Voices. Mary, where's Mary? Mary, just phenomenal. I love working on bills knowing that I have a team working with me. Mary is a team in and of herself. My staff loves working with Parent Voices because of you, Mary. It makes a big difference because you're right. You bring the mothers, you bring the children. Thank you so much. Let's keep working. We got to make sure family fees are not charged to our families. Thank you.
Amazing. We love our champions so much. It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Rachel Church, to discuss a bit more about our child.
Hello, my name's Rachel Church. I am 2 years out from breast cancer, so this is a powerful women's gathering that's so special to be at. My daughter is the 6-year-old with the pretty blue bow in her hair, and we both represent the Mission District San Francisco working class. My name is Rachel Church, and I am a leader with Parent Voices San Francisco. Not so long ago, my child and I were homeless together in a frigid, cold motorhome in San Francisco's Mission District. I was told that I would have to wait 10 months for my name to be called to place her in quality child care so that I could work at Specialties Cafe and Bakery in the financial district. Being here at this Stronger California event, I am hoping that we can accomplish several necessary priorities to help struggling families and their children find quality child care. Before I had quality child care, I was unable to meet my child's basic needs and build any kind of self-sufficiency. Additionally, I was unable to earn enough and had to work in poor working conditions. It's amazing to be here at this Stronger California gathering so we can take a look at these problems and attempt to fix them. I signed up for childcare when I was 5 months pregnant and got selected when Alessandra was 7 months old. I had a worker at the Children's Council in 2017 who said that my family fee would be based on my income. My income was $1,200 per month, and I paid a $200 family fee. In moving from the frigid motorhome to an SRO at 30 Sycamore Street near 17th and Mission, I had to pay $1,750 rent for a 12 by 12 room with about 1 foot width to get around the bed in both ways. My daughter would play together in the hallway with other kids from other families who lived there. We lived next to a family from Guatemala who lived in a room slightly bigger than ours with both parents and 2 kids. The moments we shared watching our kids play together, sharing a mile in the hallway, bonded us in a way that we overcame our language barrier. I didn't have a job that paid me enough to pay for my basic needs and those of my daughter. Therefore, I had to take on different activities to pay the rest of my rent. For the sake of appropriateness, I will leave it at that. In paying the family fee and my rent, I had nothing left over for food, transportation, or clothing. I had to find support through Homeless Prenatal Program, Compass Family Services, and Safe and Sound for bags of food and Unibus tokens. I usually picked clothing from the boxes at Homeless Prenatal. While at these nonprofits, I was able to see the family from Guatemala who lived next to me and other families benefiting from these same services. I was grateful once my child was placed because she could be in a safe learning environment at Angela's Daycare on 7th near Fulton in San Francisco while I was working to pay our rent, both at Specialties and in the Mission. Angela's daycare had trained staff that could keep my child safe, fed, warm, playing, learning, and socializing while I took care of making income. In conclusion, I am here today to use my voice for the children and families that don't have a voice, and from where I come from the mission. If I could have saved my family fee, I could have used that to put with the $1,000 for my rent and did less unsafe activities to make the other money needed for my rent. Having access to affordable childcare with the family fee waived allows families like mine to access better jobs, meet our basic needs, and provide food and housing for our kids. That's why I'm proud to share my story with groups like Stronger California, so that we keep fighting until every family in our state has affordable access to childcare, when and where they need it. I'd like to thank Assembly Member Eloise Gomez-Reyes and the Legislative Women's Caucus for their partnership in eliminating family fees and expanding access to childcare in our state. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing your story and driving home the importance of all this work. Rachel, thank you. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker. She is an incredible champion for workers and community members throughout California. We've had the privilege of elevating her bills on our agenda for several years now. Senator Maria Elena Durazo. She is a tireless advocate. Everybody knows her knows for underrepresented workers and other people throughout the state. We've had so many of your bills on our agenda representing and ensuring that garment workers are paid the right wages, that their wages are not stolen from them, fighting for the rights of domestic workers to have safety and health protections that all other workers have. They've been traditionally excluded, as we know, and continuing that fight now, and so many other wins. We're so proud of you and proud to work with you.
Thank you. Thank you to Stronger California and all the people who make it work, all the people who make Stronger California strong and tough and smart and enthusiastic and compassionate. All the things that you individually have, you bring it into an organization that makes it so strong. Thank you, Jessica. And I'm really, you mentioned, I just want to mention a couple of things that really, we're still in the battle for domestic workers, right? We're still in the battle. A legacy, imagine a legacy that goes back to slavery. And we can't get rid of that, to treat women with the ability to say, I want to work in a safe and healthy place. And that goes even for our homes. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. All of us should want to have safe homes so that whoever comes over, for ourselves, for our families, for friends, and for people who come to work in our homes, that it would be safe. So we've got another step to go. The advisory committee that was set up by our legislation 2 years ago recommends, this is the administration's own committee, recommends that we eliminate the exemption of domestic workers from the health and safety. So that's a big deal. Let's take it over, cross over the winner's line here. And then, of course, the wage replenishment, wage replacement for our family leave, paid family leave. It's going to go from 60 to 90%. That's awesome. It's so great. And we just look forward to the day when that really starts getting into the pockets and the purses of the working people. And I just want to mention, we're going to need your support, like always, on making sure that everyone, when they need the safety net, has the safety net. when they work in this state, don't take the money that's being contributed on their behalf from employers, which is almost $500 million, that's contributed on their behalf so they have a safety net, and yet when they need it, during the pandemic or during wildfire or during floods, and they can't work, they should be able to collect unemployment benefits. That's what we want. So imagine how many people, thousands of people who could not collect their unemployment benefits. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Don't tell me the money isn't there when the money's being paid in, but they don't get a penny out. So we're looking forward to that, the safety net for all. And thank you so much. Gracias a todos por todo lo que hacen. Que viva Stronger California.
Thank you, Senator Velasco. And I just want to acknowledge some really VIP guests. We have Assemblymember Jackson, Senator Menjivar, Assemblymember Gabriel, and we really couldn't do this work on behalf of women and families. Are there any members that I missed? I can't see. Okay. Really want to just thank you all for your support of, who is here? I can't see. Oh, come up here. Come up here. We're going to get everyone up here for a quick shot. And while we're having everyone up, we just want to acknowledge some of our partners who are in the room, including Denya Cassidy, the leader of the California Oregon Family Coalition and others. Great. Perfect. Come on up. Yeah, this is perfect. This is great. We just want to give you a chance to be acknowledged and really thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your generous support of all of our work. We really appreciate you. I'm going to bring up my colleague and friend, Riko Yoshihara, to introduce our final speaker.
Hi, everyone. This is my favorite room of advocates. So it is my honor to introduce our next speaker. I had the great privilege of working with Senator Limon on our big pay transparency bill last year that we got passed and signed. It was a bill we worked on with civil rights advocates, tech equity, the California Commission on the Status of Women and Girls. From her bill combating predatory lending, another Stronger California agenda priority, to her deep commitment to closing the gender and race wage gap, Senator Limon is one of the strongest fighters we have on our side. And we are so grateful to have her here as one of our distinguished champions. Senator Limon serves as chair of the Senate Banking and Financial Institutions Committee and was just named chair of the Senate Democratic Caucus. Please welcome Senator Limon.
Thank you, Mariko. Buenas tardes. Good evening, I think. Everyone, it's great to be here with you. And I am proud that through the years I have stood with you, whether it was to tackle predatory lending and the impact it has on our family, to unionize 40,000 child care workers in this state, to make sure they're at the table. This past year, we were not short of working together in passing what has now become one of our country's top leading labor laws related to salary ranges and pay transparency. I have to tell you that this fall, I heard from a lot of folks, and including some folks on the business side, that said that there is no other law in this country that is being discussed in the labor space as much as our pay transparency law. So thank you all for standing alongside us, all of the legislators who are here, who supported predatory lending, who supported taking on predatory lending, our pay transparency. I see Assemblymember Gabriel, who's voted, I think, on every single one of those bills. And I know it's Senator Menjivar will absolutely vote on all of those bills. There you go. And I want to tell you that our fight is not over. As we look at what we've done together in the last few years, I want to let you know that when it comes to childcare, when it comes to helping our families, children, and the economy, we are bringing back the ratepayer bill related to our childcare workers. So we want rate reform. That's what we want. We're bringing it back. I'm working with Assemblymember Reyes, who is going to be committed to the family fees.
And so we will come back another year to work with you, stronger together, to make sure that we get some good policy across the finish line that improves the quality of life of Californians. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This was so exciting. I mean, we all came together to build power, and I feel some power up in here. What do you guys think? I really want to do 2 more shout-outs. First, to the California Commission on the Status of Women, who's a really treasured partner for us, and was actually really close by our side when we founded this, and there were many of us who were not used to bringing 10, 12, 13 bills at once. The California Commission on the Status of Women staffers really helped us. And I also want to acknowledge all of the legislator staffers in this room. Some of whom were used to be advocates in the Southern California Advocates Network and are now making it happen in the halls of our Capitol. And I want to tell everybody, back in the day, we used to have major, huge policy convenings, and we've tried to recreate that today. So there are, for any staffers or anyone wants to hear about, the hot bills that we're thinking about, there are super, plush and comfy little areas for all of the pillars. So please go meet the advocates. I want you to give it up for every single organization on this Step and Repeat, who are part of the Southern California Advocates Network. And just because, I'm one of 42 cousins, I'm going to ask you all up here for a picture before we end. Are you game? Let's do it. Come on up. Grab your